Did you know the average amount of time for the police to respond to a call is around 20 minutes? Now, a lot can happen in that amount of time. And if you're put into a situation to where you have to protect your family and your home, you want the best firearm for the job. And that's why I recommend the Black Rifle. Now, shotguns and handguns have a lot of limitations, but the Black Rifle only has one drawback. You're going to want to stay tuned because I'm going to cover that, plus the reasons why this is your best home protection weapon. And also we're going to shoot this at the range today. I'm Riveroo Bay, and welcome to my gun kingdom. So what we have here is a Colt LE6940. And basically all it is a scaled down version of the AR-15. In fact, the internal parts of the upper and lower are identical to the AR-15. And now this is an M4 Carbine look-alike, and I say look-alike because it does not have select fire. So this is a semi-automatic version of the M4. They made it into a carbine by putting a collapsible stock on it. The barrel is 16 inches, but you can go as low as 14.5 inch. It does have a flash hinder on it. The barrel is chrome lined, and it has a 1 7 inch twist. The trigger pull is approximately 7 pounds. It does have a folding rear sight and a folding front sight. And the front sight can be locked, so in case you'd hit something, it does not fold down. Now this is the next level from Colt's legendary M16, AR-15, M4 family of weapons. And what sets it apart is the monolithic upper receiver. It is a free-floating barrel, which makes it extremely accurate. Okay, so it is a 5.56, and it will shoot a .223 out of this weapon. All right, so this gun is probably the most well-balanced rifle I have ever owned, and that's why I think it's probably the best one for home protection. Now, if you don't have exactly this model here, it doesn't really matter. Any AR-15 will make an excellent home protection firearm. Okay, so let's go over the reason why I think this is your best home protection weapon. It has a lot of advantages over the shotgun and the handgun. The only drawback, like I said in the intro, it does have one drawback, and that is it is very loud when it goes off. Now, you can get a flash suppressor for this gun. It's called, Noveske makes one, a Flaming Pig. And you can put that on the front of the barrel, and that will send the noise away from you. Because when this gun goes off, it could scare somebody half to death just with the noise. So, but at least that would get the noise away from you. Now, the benefits over a shotgun and handgun, there's a lot, okay? Because this gun is extremely compact. It's very lightweight. It's extremely manageable. It's easy to control, in other words. Where a shotgun is usually heavier, a lot heavier, and also you have a limit on ammunition that you have for a shotgun. Whereas this one, you can get a 30-round clip, depending on the state you live, 30-round or a 20-round clip. Okay, and the recoil of a shotgun is a lot more than this rifle. Okay. All right, so now the handgun, unless you're really proficient with a handgun, you're not going to be that accurate unless you practice and practice and practice with a handgun. Where this does take a little practice, but not near as much as a handgun to be accurate. So, and then another thing, with a handgun, you only have one point of contact, and it's this hand right here. Now, if you use two hands to hold it, you still only have one hand that's making contact with the gun. Whereas this gun, you have 3 points of contact. 1, 2, and then your shoulder being 3. Okay, so the more points of contact that you have with a firearm, the more accurate you're going to be, and the less practice that you need also. So handguns have their place. They're great to conceal. So, you know, anytime I go hiking in the woods with my dogs, I always carry a handgun concealed, because you certainly can't carry a long gun with you, and they're much heavier than handguns. So handguns do have their place, but not for home protection. This is your best choice for home protection. So, and this gun, you have to keep it clean. Now, this gun is gas operated, so you're going to get a lot of blowback, okay, that you're going to have to clean out around the bolt carrier. So you're going to have to learn to take this whole thing out, take the bolt carriage out, and clean them really good after each time you shoot this weapon. Okay, so you want to keep it extremely clean. All right, but it's a very reliable weapon. You know, just as reliable as a shotgun or a handgun can be, but you have to keep it clean. So what do you say we go and we shoot this thing? So let's go out to the range, and then we'll come back for the final thoughts. So you want to place the bullseye right on top of your front sight. You don't want to block it out with your front sight. So there it is, right there. Load one in there. Okay, readjust your sights. Pretty darn close. Okay, so we're going to take it out of the safe mode. Now this has a 7-pound trigger pull. Okay, looking good. Okay, let's put 3 in there. And we're ready. Squeeze the trigger. Okay, I decided to make a little change here. While I got the clip out, it's a 20-round clip, by the way, and I just put 3 in at a time. So, but while I got the clip out, and let's just go ahead and extend this stock out just a little bit too close for me. And let's set it about right there. All right. Okay, I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to keep it in the safe mode until I readjust my sight. It looks like it didn't move. So let's go ahead. I took the safety off, so we're ready to roll. I want this trigger to surprise me. Here we go.
Black one, you can see it down. I want to right. Let's see right now, maybe again to the center. Where's the oak ready? I don't see it yet. Okay, so if you're on the rough me off, yeah. Center of the black canopy for it. You're in the center now. Yeah, you're in the center. I took the radio up low. Yeah. So we don't know which way it's up. Just try
Okay, so I hit one in the bullseye, I see. Now they're slightly over to the left a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to make any adjustments. That just could be me not being able to see in the bright light. All right, so that was the M855. So let's switch over to, this is still made by PMC. And this is 55 grain. And these are the full metal jackets that we're going to shoot next. So let's stay on that lower target. And after we shoot 3 more here, let's move down to the 50-yard range, I'm thinking. Put it back in safe mode till I get it adjusted again. Okay. Just a tiny bit to the right. Okay, I'm going to take it out of safe mode. Here we go. Oh, I can just barely see the top of that orange bullseye now. Here we go. Surprised me. That's what you want. You want to squeeze that trigger till it surprises you. Okay, let's see how we did here. Okay, after taking a look at it in the spotting scope, I'm thinking that we'll just stay here, but we'll shoot at the top target. It looks like it was better, but I think I'm going to change this back over and I'm going to adjust it, the rear sight, to place the bullet a little bit more to the right. Just one click clockwise. There it is. Okay, so because I think I'm just shooting slightly to the left there, but let's put another 3 in the clip. Okay, back in safe mode. Chamber flag goes in. All right, let me check this spotting scope.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to come up.
All right. Looks like I got one right in the center of the bullseye there, so we're going to call it good. We're going to replace those targets with new ones and move down to the 50-yard range. But it's good for 25 yards. So, all right, so that was a full metal jacket. Okay, so when we go down to the 50-yard range, we'll start out with the M855, and then we'll go to the full metal jacket down there. All right. Okay, so we're set up here at the 50-yard range, and so didn't do too bad at the 25-yard range, but So let's start out with the M855. And yes, these are the green tip. Nothing really special, but that's what the owner of the manual says to sight in with. So now I haven't adjusted the sights from where I set them at the 25-yard range, so let's start with the bottom target. And I'm going to do the same thing here with the front sight. Okay, I'm going to raise it up enough just so I can barely see the top of the bullseye. All right. Bottom target. There we go. All right. Make sure it's in safe mode till I get set up again. Oh, it didn't move at all. Placing that bottom of the orange bullseye right on top of the front sight helped out. So let's switch over to the full metal jacket now. Okay. So we're switching over to the full metal jacket. And going to switch over to the top target. All right. And get set up again. All right. Here we go. Okay, I put it in safe mode because I'm going to have to make a big adjustment here. Okay. Okay. All right. Full metal jacket. All right. Well, the sun's not out right now, so let's take advantage of that. Make sure I'm in the safe mode. Okay. Still might be shooting a little high, but okay, right there again. Okay, I'm putting the bullseye right on top of the front sight. Here we go. Okay, so there you have it at the range today. And one thing I forgot to mention was the length of the rifle. And fully collapsed, it's 32 inches, and then fully extended, it's 35 inches. All right, so now when we shot at the 25-yard range, you notice that I was shooting a little bit low, and I was placing the bullseye on top of the front sight here. Now, the owner's manual says to sight it in at 27 meters. So as close as I could get was 25 yards, all right, which is fine. And that's what I would sight this rifle in at. I wouldn't mess around with sighting it in at 50 yards or 100 yards, because what you're going to be using this for is home protection, and you're not going to be shooting any more than, say, 15 yards. So sighting it in at 27 meters or 25 yards is perfect for this firearm, for what purpose you're going to be using it for. All right, so now you notice when we moved down to the 50-yard range that that the bullet was still rising when it was going out to 50 yards. So I was shooting 4 to 5 inches higher from the bullseye, but it was dead on as far as left and right. I didn't have to center it anymore. So what I did is I placed the bullseye on top of the front sight, and it brought it down, and you notice that I was able to place them in the bullseye after I made that adjustment. But I didn't make any more, adjustments with the sights here, the rear or the front sight. All right, so that's where you want it, is for 25 yards sighting this rifle in, and I wouldn't sight it in for any more distance than that if you're going to be using it for a home protection weapon. Okay, now another thing I forgot to mention, optics are easily mounted. This pretty good shooting today with iron sights. Okay, now if you want to get a little bit more precise, I would mount some optics on top, and they're easy to mount. Also, if you want a laser, Colt makes a laser. It's a 4-end grip, and it's easily mounted here on the bottom. All right, and they're around, roughly around $350 at the time this video is being made, but you can get on their website and find out what the current price is of the laser. Use this as a home protection weapon. I would just go with the laser, and I wouldn't bother with the optics, because an optics is just going to get in your way. All right, so I would just go with the laser down here, the CGL, and that would be the best setup, I think, for this rifle. All right, so another thing is they've done tests with these rifles, and they've compared them to handguns, shooting them inside buildings that before they were torn down. They decided to go out and test the ammunition, and they found that the handgun ammunition normally goes outside the house. Now, if the house is made of brick, they won't go outside the house, but normally handgun ammunition goes through 2 walls, maybe 3 walls, and exits a house, and it's where you don't want it to go. So now with the 223 or 5.56, once it hits the first wall, it starts to tumble. Okay, and then after that, it might go into the second wall, but it normally does not leave the second wall. So it normally won't go outside the house. Okay, so that's another benefit to using a black rifle for a home protection. All right. All right, so one thing I want to leave you with is a couple safety things, and the first one is be aware of your target. Okay, identify your target before pulling the trigger. Okay, because you could mistake a target as one of your family members. So make sure that you know where everybody is in the house, and if you have a large family, you might want to go over the protocol for something like this that could happen. Most break-ins occur at nighttime, so make sure that you know where everybody is in the house. Identify your target before pulling the trigger. All right, and another thing I want to mention, now a lot of you might think, well, this trigger is pretty high, 7 pounds, but that's where you want it. That's why Colt made a 7-pound trigger. This is a full-on combat rifle, and for a semi-automatic version of the M4, you want it to be 7-pound trigger pull, because you're going to be nervous. If you're going to be walking around the house in pitch black, you're going to be nervous. Your finger's going to be on the trigger, and if you would happen to bump into a wall with your hand or something like that, you certainly don't want a hair trigger. So I would keep it at 7 pounds. I wouldn't change it out. They put it on there because that's the purpose of this rifle. Is a combat rifle, close-in quarter shooting. Okay, so close-in quarters means you're going to be bumping into stuff normally. All right, so this is not a sniper rifle by any means. It's more of a close quarter weapon. Okay, so stay with the 7-pound trigger pull. All right, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If I helped you out, click that like button down below and leave a comment. Tell me what black rifle you have, you know, and share with us what your experience is with the black rifles. And then another thing is always hit that subscribe button and share this video with your friends. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.